when you were growing up, who was your favorite person? For me, it was my grandmother. I called her Gran. And it would take Mum and I 3 hours in the car just to get to Gran's front door. But when you were greeted by Gran's beaming smile, her perfect snow white hair, and the fresh smell of her homemade chocolate cake. Best of all, Gran would be there. If I was having a tough time at school, Gran would be there to squeeze my hand and say, Kyle, you know what would make it better? Some chocolate cake. If I wanted to play football in the park, Gran would be there, running around, kicking the ball at 82 years old. And if I wanted to watch an action movie, oh, Gran would definitely be there. One time, my mum went out with her friends, and Gran and I were left to watch a film. Now, picture a movie with gunfights, with explosions, with swear words. As a 10-year-old, I was loving it. But when my mum came back, she said, so, what have you two been doing tonight? And my Gran just said, we just watched a relaxing movie. Die Hard. And then I ran up to my mum and said, yippee-ki-yay, Kyle. I loved being there with Gran. But have you noticed that when your loved ones are facing hard times, it's not so easy to be there? When I was 12, we took that 3-hour drive to Gran's front door. And when no response. Worried, my mum used the spare key. And when she opened the door, Gran was on the floor, unconscious. She was rushed to hospital. It was a stroke. And when we saw Gran, she had that beaming smile. We even overheard her saying to the nurses, oh, that Bruce Willis fella, he is delicious. I thought no time we're going to be back at the park playing football. And we were, till Gran broke her hip. That put her in a wheelchair. And then came dementia. And like a thief, it stole who she was. But my mom would still take that 3-hour drive a couple of times every week to be there with Gran in her care home. And me, was I there to support Gran? I didn't want to see her. Because I thought seeing Gran in her wheelchair, not being herself, would shatter this incredible memory I had of a wonderful person full of joy, fun, and smiles. So thinking of myself, instead of her, I wasn't there for years. And then one day, my mum had had enough. She said, Kyle, what are you doing? Come and see your Gran. She needs to see you, son. And I would just say, no, Mum, what's the point? She's not even my Gran anymore. And my mum looked at me and said, Kyle, she is your Gran. And she's dying. All I'm asking you to do is be there. Has your heart ever felt heavy with regret? In the care home, you could smell that hospital smell. You could feel the depressing silence. And Gran was lying on the bed with vacant eyes, I went over to her and said, Gran, it's Kyle. I'm so sorry I've not been here, but I've got a surprise for you. And I put on the one thing that I knew without a doubt would put a smile on Gran's face. Die Hard. And for 2 hours, Gran and I watched the delicious Bruce Willis take on gunfights, explosions, and say lots of swear words. Gran had a beaming smile, and you could tell she was glad I was there, because she squeezed my hand a little bit tighter, and I could see that she wanted to say, Kyle, I'm so glad you're here. A month later, the movie of my Gran's wonderful life came to an end. But her lesson lives on in my heart, because now I strive to be there for the people I love, to give them my time and love like Gran gave me when I was a little boy. And I'm sure you want to be there for your loved ones too. So when they face hard times, be there with a beaming smile. Be there with kind words. Be there to make wonderful memories that you will cherish for life. Gran and I will leave you with this question. Will you be there? From Test Chair.